Hello everyone and welcome to Mr.
Yo te traigo esta bomba puertorriqueña.
This is the Caribbean, and here's Puerto Rico. Now, let's take a look, shall we? Whoever the first inhabitants of the island of Puerto Rico were, it is believed they were South American tribes who settled it, such as the Ortwaroid people, setting out from the Orinoco Valley and landing on the island at some time no one knows when, guesses ranging from millennia to mere centuries BC. Anyway, the natives were hunters, and from what little archaeology can tell us about them, they ate a lot of shellfish. Anyway, these early inhabitants were displaced and conquered by the invading Taino people around the year 1000. The Taino were also hunters, but dabbled in agriculture and lived in villages like this, and were ruled by a class of nobles. This here is a ball court where an ancient ball game would be played. Now, things were not all pineapples and rainbows, however, as there was conflict with the Kalinago or Carib peoples. But not to worry, here comes Spain to save the day by destroying everyone. That's right, Columbus led the Spaniards to the New World, and those peaceful days of shellfish eating and ripping people's hearts out were over, as Spain's conquest of the Americas changed the region forever. This here was the man responsible for bringing this change to Puerto Rico, Juan Ponce de León. Native populations were decimated by introduced diseases which they had no immunity to, and ensuing rebellions were unsuccessful. Plantations of sugarcane and ginger were established, and African slaves were shipped in to work on them, and the island was further targeted by pirates from various European nations. Spain's response to this was to fortify the island's capital city of San Juan more heavily, but attacks persisted, and the rural inhabitants of the island, habitually scorned by the city dwellers, secretly traded with merchants from enemy nations. Finally, in the 18th century, the Bourbon rulers of Spain decided to introduce some reforms in economic and administrative affairs. The population grew, towns were founded, and coffee became an important crop. After the British snatched Trinidad from Spain, they must have felt Puerto Rico would be easy pickings, but were mistaken when their attack was repelled. Now, after Napoleon's invasion of Spain, the Spanish-run colonies in the Americas were emboldened to rebel and fight for independence. But not Puerto Rico, which remained loyal to the Spanish crown, and the crown rewarded the island upon its restoration in 1815. But then, years passed, and Puerto Rico was like, hey Spain, wanna give us a bit of autonomy? A bit of a chance to run things here the way we want to? And Spain said, no. Now shut up! And Puerto Rico was like, oh, come on, listen, look here. And so Spain said, all right, I'll let you get rid of slavery or something. Just calm down and be quiet, will you? During the 1880s, calls arose for Puerto Rico to be incorporated into Spain's government. And Spain said, no! And Puerto Rico was displeased. But Spain was unhappier still after being defeated by the United States in the Spanish-American War of 1898. The US thereby took possession of Cuba, the Philippines, Guam, and Puerto Rico. The campaign to conquer Puerto Rico took 3 months, during which the Spanish mustache proved no match for the American mustache, despite some brave fighting by the Puerto Ricans. Initial military rule was soon succeeded by civilian rule, and another man with a mustache became governor. The Americans introduced modern infrastructure, sanitation systems, new roads, public schools, etc. And in 1917, the Jones Act made Puerto Ricans citizens of the United States, and the sugarcane industry became more and more prominent, as did the popularity of the Puerto Rican drink, the piña colada. In the 1940s, Puerto Rico attained the right to elect its own governors. This man, with a mustache, was first, who championed a number of reforms. In the second half of the 20th century, manufacturing began to outpace agriculture in importance, and more Puerto Ricans migrated to the United States. And not long afterwards, Puerto Rican characters were being featured in musicals as dancing street gang members. In 2009, Bronx-born Puerto Rican lawyer Sonia Sotomayor ascended to the role of a Justice of the Supreme Court. In 2017, devastation resulted from the impact of Hurricane Maria, and to a lesser extent in 2022 with Hurricane Fiona. But nonetheless, tourism remains a strong sector of the economy, and it's not hard to see why. Now, there's been many accomplished and famous Puerto Ricans, and here's some of them in the realms of literature, in sport, in music, and in cinema. But what awaits Puerto Rico in the years and days ahead? Comment below, but for now, bye-bye!
Yo te la traigo de Cupey, de Vega Baja y de Santurce, de toda parte de Puerto Rico.